Most people believe that saving money is the answer. They cut small pleasures, skip the coffee, watch every rupee, and put whatever is left into an account they rarely look at again. And yet, year after year, nothing seems to grow. The account stays thin. The future stays uncertain. They call themselves careful. But careful is not the same as wealthy, and no one ever told them the difference. In Japan, there is a different relationship with money, not built on restriction, but on cultivation. Today, I want to tell you why saving alone keeps people standing still, while a quiet philosophy called Kaizen teaches people to grow what they have, 1% at a time, without stopping. This is not about earning more overnight. It is about becoming someone money naturally moves toward. Let me tell you about a woman named Aiko. Aiko worked as a bookkeeper in a small trading company in Osaka. She was known for her discipline. She saved diligently, cut every unnecessary expense, and took quiet pride in her shrinking spending. But after 8 years, her savings had barely moved beyond what she had put in. She felt stuck, and worse, she felt confused, because she had done everything she believed she was supposed to do. One afternoon, an elderly client named Mr. Indo, who had built a modest but steady fortune over decades, noticed her frustration. He asked her a simple question. "You have saved your money carefully, but have you ever grown it?" Aiko didn't understand. To her, saving was growing. Mr. Indo shook his head gently and said, "Saving protects what you have today. Growing builds what you don't have yet. They are not the same skill." He told her that the wealthy in Japan do not simply hoard yen in a drawer. They cultivate it, the way a farmer cultivates rice. Not through big, risky moves, but through small, consistent, intelligent decisions, repeated without stopping. This is the heart of Kaizen applied to money, the belief that wealth is not built through one dramatic decision, but through 1% improvements, made again and again, until they compound into something unrecognizable from where they began. Think of a single grain of rice placed in a field. It means almost nothing on its own. A person who only saves is like someone who takes that grain and locks it in a box, admiring it, protecting it, making sure it is never lost. But a farmer does something different. He takes the grain and plants it. He does not know exactly how big the harvest will be. He simply trusts the process, water it, tend it, protect it from pests, and let time do the rest. Months pass, and what was once a single grain becomes a field, and that field becomes many more grains than could have ever fit in a box. Money behaves the same way. Saved money is a grain in a box. It stays exactly the size it was. Grown money is a grain in soil. It multiplies quietly, season after season, often invisibly, until one day the difference becomes impossible to ignore. Why do so many people save instead of grow? Because saving feels safe, and growing feels uncertain. The mind is wired to avoid risk, so it clings to the comfort of watching a number sit untouched. But here is what most people miss. Safety without growth is not truly safety at all. It is a slow erosion, because time, inflation, and missed opportunity quietly eat away at money that never moves. The common mistake is believing that protecting money and growing money require the same mindset. They do not. One asks you to hold on. The other asks you to plant, patiently, and trust what you cannot yet see. So how do you begin to think and act like someone who grows money, not just saves it? Let's break it into 3 areas. First, your knowledge. Every week, spend just 15 minutes learning something about how money actually works, how compounding functions, how small investments behave over decades, how businesses create value. You do not need to become an expert overnight. You only need to know slightly more this month than you did last month. Second, your allocation. Instead of only saving what is left over, set aside a small, consistent portion, even 1% of your income, specifically for growth, not safety. It does not need to be large. It needs to be consistent, planted the same way, month after month, without stopping, regardless of how small it feels. Third, your mindset around risk. Begin to see calculated, informed risk not as danger, but as soil. A seed planted in soil looks vulnerable compared to a grain locked in a box. But it is the only one that has any chance of becoming a harvest. Start small, learn as you go, and let your confidence grow alongside your understanding, not ahead of it. None of these steps promise instant results. None of them will make you wealthy by next month. And that is exactly why most people, even after hearing this, will continue to only save. Aiko began differently. She kept her saving habit, but she added something new. A small, consistent portion set aside to learn and to grow, guided by what Mr. Endo had taught her. In the beginning, the change was barely visible. A year later, it was noticeable. Several years later, her modest, consistent planning had quietly become something her old habit of saving alone could never have produced. She hadn't taken a wild risk. She had simply stopped locking grains in a box and started placing them in soil. This is the choice in front of you. You can spend your life protecting a number that never moves, calling it security, while it quietly falls behind. Or you can begin in small and steady ways to grow what you have, 1%, one decision, one season at a time, without stopping. The grain does not need to be big. It only needs to be planted. If this way of thinking changes how you see money, consider subscribing to Will and Wisdom, because we explore ideas like this every week, quiet philosophies that build a life worth having. Leave a comment and tell me one small step you will take to grow, not just save. And if you're ready to understand how small habits shape extraordinary lives, the next video is waiting for you.